probably drifted. It's been a couple weeks since I did my calibration. These sensors drift just like normal. I'm going to do it. So to do a zero calibration, I have my sensor. I'm just going to set it here because it's in room air. I know it's reading room air. It's actually going to go up a little bit here because I moved it. Okay, so we have our sensor out in room air and we're off a little bit. We've let it sit, so I need to make an adjustment to the zero. So I need to go into the program mode. I hold up and down for 3 seconds to do that. Once I see the word tune, I can let go. And I'll press down once to get to the level function. And if you get lost, I just want everybody to feel comfortable going through the levels. You just press up or down and you go through all the different functions. So just press down until you see level. And we need to be on level 3. So I hold the star because I want to make a change. Press up twice on level 3. And then I want to scan through level 3 until I see 0. And it's minus 1.3 is the coefficient. Again, the coefficient doesn't matter too much. What matters is what you do to that coefficient. So we were about 0.2 over from where we need to be. So I need to lower this by 0.2. So I hit the star and I press down twice while holding the star. And now I need to save that, exit the program mode. So I hold up and down for 3 seconds. And then the reading comes back. And it's actually a little lower than what I want to be. I can get more accurate. The 0 you can get real accurate. So I'm going to just, and this is typical, I'm just going to do it again. I'm going to hold up and down for 3 seconds to enter the program mode. I see tune, so I can let go. Press down to get to the level function. Hold the star and change it to level 3 by pressing up. Scan through until I see the 0. And so I went too far by 0.1. I got too low, so I need to raise it by 0.1. So I'm going to hold the star to make a change. And I'm going to raise this by 0.1. Save it. Okay, and so we're at 20.8 now. It just took a second to kick in there. So 0's done. We're at 20.8. It's reading room. I'm going to take my calibration chamber, take my tube end, put it right on the bleed valve, open the bleed valve up till you can hear it. I can hear it and feel it coming from there. And I'm going to put my sensor tip right in there. And then just let it rise. Let it sit for about 2 minutes. So what we're doing now is we're doing our high end, our span calibration, the second part. And we're exposing our sensor to pure oxygen right now. So 100.0. That AL you're seeing is just the alarm setting being turned on there. It just is letting you know that the alarm condition was reached. And again, the span is a coarse adjustment. When you're using pure oxygen, it's always a little less accurate for a couple reasons. Number one, room air for your 0, 20.8, that's a little less accurate than if you were to use nitrogen for your 0, because room air can fluctuate a little bit, that percentage. Also, the sensors really only read 99.9, and at that very, very top end, it's real tough for them to be super accurate. So we get as close as we can. It's not quite as accurate as if you were going to use room air as your span value. But the idea is, if your set point is above room air, you always want to calibrate your 0 below your set point and your span above where your set point is. So if your set point is set for above room, 30, 40, 85, anything, you have to have a lower set point for 0 and a higher set point for your span. Okay, we've let it sit for a couple minutes here. Again, you just want to let it sit till it's pretty much stabilizes. It's pretty steady here. It's reading 116.3, so we're way above 100% here. which is really common when you do a new sensor because your span number needs to come down. So we need to make an adjustment to the span. It's a course adjustment. It's in the program mode, so we're going to hold up and down until we see tune. We need to go to the level function, so I hit down once, go up to level 3, and I just press up to go through the level until I see span. So I see minus 60 here. Again, it's a course adjustment. You might have to go back and forth a couple times, and when you're doing 100% oxygen, it's always going to have a little bit of inaccuracy. So you just get as close as you can. So we're way above 100, so we need to bring our coefficient down. Since we're above, I'm just going to go to minus 69 and see how close that. So now I'm way too far. I've come back. Now it's only saying it's about 90%. So I need to go back in. Press down for level. Hold the star. Press up for level 3. To span. I need to raise it up because I went too far. Raise it to minus 66. Now we're almost to 99. I'm going to go back in one more time just to show you how it's a course adjustment. This is probably about as close as we're going to get, but we'll take a look here. So I'm going to go back into the program mode, holding up and down. Press down once for level. Hold the star and up for level 3. Over to span. Press up 1. And see, I've way overshot. So I'm going to err on the one that was closer. I'm going to bring it back, down 1. There we go. That's as close as we're going to get, which is okay. I mean, that's extremely close. I'm going to shut my gas off. Take my calibration chamber off. Return my sensor, and I'm all set to start using again. I want you to get a good idea of how it works at the high oxygen. As you can see, it's not, there's a little bit of back and forth. It's not quite as quick and as accurate as the other method. It does work. It's just as viable to do it that way, but you're just running up against some of the physical limitations of the high end of the sensor and what it can read, and some of the inaccuracies with using room air as your zero. There is one more method that's covered in the manual. I'm not going to actually perform it, but I do want to show you. It talks about doing zero with nitrogen and then span with a mixed gas. So I brought up our mixed gas tank here, and what this is it's 90% oxygen and a balance of CO2. So what we're doing is 2 gas known certified levels. So you do your zero just like we did with the P110, and then you would hook up your mix tank to the controller, and it would be whatever the tag says. In this case, it's exactly 90.0 for oxygen, and you would calibrate your span to 90.0. It's not necessary in these setups. It's just an extra gas. Some people have easy access to a mixed gas, so go ahead and feel free to use it if you want, but as you can see, you don't need it. You can use just the gases you have and do the calibration. Again, yeah, just to recap, the sensor being electrochemical, it needs to be calibrated at least once a month. That's what we recommend. Drifts over time, and if you're going to do a long experiment, before your experiment, it's a good idea to calibrate, and then monthly thereafter. Sensors have a lifespan of about 2 years, so at around that point, you're going to see it's going to get difficult to calibrate. You're going to see that span number jump quite a lot. I always recommend keeping track of that span number and the change that you make each time you calibrate. That's going to tell you when your sensor's starting to age, when you see those big jumps in span. At the beginning I said I would kind of talk about the coefficients a little bit, just to give you an idea. The zero on a new sensor usually starts around minus 1.2. Every sensor's different, but that gives you a good idea. And you're going to have a setup sheet with your controller that shows you what it starts at. It might drift a little bit from there, but if you ever see a big change in that number, that's an indicator that either the technique you're using to calibrate might be off, or there's something off with the sensor. The span, a brand new sensor usually starts in the minus 60s somewhere, and it typically gets more positive over time. So when you see your sensor start reading minus 40, minus 30, minus 20, that lets you know your sensor has aged significantly, and that's a good idea. Change that sensor out. If you see it do really big jumps each time you calibrate, that's also showing that it's aged. Again, every sensor is different, and there are sensors out there, it's rare, that get more negative over time. If you see something odd, or that calibration coefficient seems just really out of line from where it started with on your green sheets, your setup sheets, or what you've been keeping track with, that's your big red flag. Hey, there's something wrong with my sensor. It's either probably time to change it, or it's failed, or if it's a brand new sensor, give service a call here, and we're more than happy to talk you through. But that's how to calibrate your model E702. Again, it doesn't matter what model setup you have, whether you've got the X3 independent setups, C shuttles, eye gloves,